I hope so. Because in the actual meaning of the word pilgrim, it's somebody who sees themselves as being totally responsible for their own destiny. And the model goes back to John Bunyan, 17th century, in Pilgrim's Progress. And we're living in very strange times now, as far as I'm concerned, because when I was a kid, Pilgrim's Progress was one of the compulsory A-level texts for English literature. But I don't think enough people follow it now. But it's a very important, it's a picture built up in the 1670s to try and make a point that when you are travelling, when you're living, you're faced with all kinds of issues around you. And those issues always come at a cost. Everything you would like to do probably has got a downside. And the picture of the pilgrim was somebody who was setting out looking to get to what he called the House Beautiful, the lovely heavenly destination. But on his back he got a great big rucksack. And that rucksack was full of all the things he didn't want to give up. And eventually he came to what was called the Slough of Despond. And as he got into the Slough of Despond, the weight on his back was so great that he was floundering in the mud. And eventually he had to pull stuff out of his rucksack, throw it away, and even that didn't lighten him enough. And so he eventually had to get rid of all, quote, this world's goods, and even throw his rucksack away. Having done that, he was then just able to struggle through the Slough of Despond with all the mud trailing on behind him and make himself up to the House of Beautiful at the other end. But then he stopped and realized that many of his friends and relatives were still stuck in the Slough of Despond. So what did he do? He stopped trying to get to the House Beautiful, turned around, went back into the slough, and started pulling them out. And when he'd rescued them, then all together they made for the heavenly house, the House Beautiful. Now that is a very interesting analogy. What are you doing in life? Are you just satisfying yourself, or are you accepting responsibility for all the other things that are going around on the outside? I find that a very interesting analogy. But actually, what it seems that we're doing with children in school is to educate them to be very sophisticated customers. How to know to make the best choice out of 200 cereals. How to make the best choice out of half a dozen different types of cars. Dare I say it, how to make the best choice out of the 300 girls you might have met as a youngster, which one is going to look the most attractive for your partner for life, and all that. We're looking to choose. What Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress was about, what the Pilgrim is about, is actually it's not a question of choosing, it's a question of taking responsibility, knowing where you're going, and accepting the costs at the time. And so, yes, I think it is a very useful way of looking at it, because it's too easy for children to come through schooling and with a metaphorical rucksack on their back thinking, I've now put in 12 GCSEs, I've now got 14 A-levels, I've now got a degree at university, and by God, I've got a PhD, I'm wonderful. But can they do anything with that? Or is that just a weight on their shoulders, which one day will just leave them stuck in a Slough of Despond?